McGuire. Big farm here in Kansas City. So as you know, we're all leading this group for you, just trying to do some big things in commercial, hearing your successes, giving you that push so we can have a big year in 2026. First of all, we set out that challenge 2 weeks ago. You had exactly 2 weeks. I was curious who completed the challenge, which was read chapters 3 and 4 in fanatical prospecting, complete at least 4 power hours, so 2 per week, which is what we'd asked. 10 commercial quotes, 11 walk-ins, and 3 commercial policies written. And if they haven't, went into active status yet, understand that written still counts. So anybody conquer the challenge this time over the last 2 weeks? Because we're giving away goods again. I know, Tim, did you get your gift card yet?
I haven't got it yet.
Oh, you haven't? Oh my gosh.
I haven't checked it out.
I bet it's in there because it was mailed last week. So anyway, but last week, Tim conquered 2 weeks ago, completed the challenge. So then we drew a name and he won. So yeah, you'll be getting some goodies for that. So anybody completed this time over the last 2 weeks? No one, I see no hands.
Was it too hard of a challenge? Somebody give us some feedback. Where did you guys struggle?
Closing.
So let me reframe that just a little bit, because what comes to my mind is what pieces of those challenges did you have control over? Right, you had control over the walking in, so 11 walk-ins, right? Bring it up through you had 2 weeks to do it. The things that you could control yourself. Let's highlight those. How many of you accomplished those things that you were like, hey, I got control. I can check the box on those. I can control getting 3 opportunities to submit applications, right? So if we were to take that off the table, how many of you were able to accomplish the things that you could control?
Can you guys hear me okay?
Yeah.
Stacey, my microphone said it wasn't working or something. So I got the walk-ins done. I got 5 commercial quotes done. But I'm working through the follow-up on those. And then just trying to get in the door from the walk-ins to get to the quote. So, but it's still in my first 3 or 4 weeks, so I'm still kind of getting my feet wet. So I can't imagine. I guess my expectation would be I'm not going to walk into a business on Tuesday and then quote them on Wednesday. I got to build that rapport and build some relationships. So I'm still kind of at that piece. So
That's great.
I got all the chapters, the power hours, the walk-ins done. So and I've got a couple of commercial quotes at least out there to the client, just nothing's signed and sealed yet. But a couple more weeks.
Great. Did anybody have any luck with I sent out the link for the requote. I think I call it the requote, but do you know where to find all of the past commercial quotes you've had in the system for the last 5 years? Everybody know where that link is, where to find that? So I think that's a great one too. Just another reminder that anything you quoted since 2021 is in that system. You just have to click then on their name and navigator that brings that quote up again. Some of those now, if they're a bot, you'll have to re-quote in the new system, but those are good ones to follow back up on. Maybe that something's changed where we can quote that business again and write that business. So just a reminder there. But yeah, great job, Stacey. I mean, great activity. And like you said, those relationships will build and hopefully we'll get some business from that. So nice. Anyone else? Go ahead.
On that link, can I get to Fabian's quotes? Since I'm under him, can I get to his to look up previous quotes and go tackle them?
We'll make sure that happens, Stacey. I'll get that information to you if we need to. If you don't have access to it.
Yeah. Since I don't have 5 years of past to go follow up on, I'll take over Fabian's and go, crush it.
Perfect. But yeah, we'd love to hear successes. So I know, Christy, did you have some reps in your agency you want to call in for successes? I think I had a really good one you told me about.
I know, we have that. I want to start with Riley Ross. So Riley, I see you on the call, and I wanted, I'm going to take a couple different aspects of this. Riley, as far as quantity, right? So Riley, give us an update on how you're getting in front of so many commercial clients and how many you have got in front of.
Yeah, the CCB, I've been overusing. It's like calling plumbers, electricians, HVAC companies, painters. It's like the 4 I've been attacking, and I've gotten through all the A's and a couple of the B's for like the starts of the names, because there's like 4,000 companies in Oregon for each one of those niches, and just cold calling them, and I've seen a good amount of success being able to turn those into quoting opportunities, and got like 15 right now that I'm just waiting on either one thing for, or a bunch of stuff coming to the office today to work on today. It's good. I feel the pipeline bursting just off of doing these calls and everything.
Riley, you're gonna have to hire somebody for yourself, right?
Right.
It's gonna go team. And Riley's an associate agent for Chris Shocker over there in Bend, Oregon. So love to see, I wanted to point him out because I knew of the quantity of leads he was working on. And it kind of speaks to when we get into breaking down fanatical prospecting chapters 3 and 4, it talks about diversification of your approach, right? So I love that you mentioned, hey, I'm cold calling. That's one of the chapters, right? Is cold call or not, and I think it just depends, right? So I love that you're doing that. I love that you're seeing a lot of traction in that. So I wanted to call you out. I also want to call out Skylar Reagan. Skylar, will you tell us from beginning of where you got the prospect and then how that ended? It's a great story.
Yeah, I went to that kickoff training that a lot of you guys probably went to, and he had mentioned just to take it, you see a van or an advertised vehicle driving down the freeway or highway, just take a picture of it, we'll call it. So I did that, and it was an electrical company. And I got back, kind of plugged in the system to see who his insurance was and how long he's had it, just to have some information on it. Called him and just did a whole little pitch about it, and then he said he's open to it. And then he sent me over his current policy, and I mean, I was just surprised, 17 autos, and the amount of premium that you get on it beats just writing a household, that's for sure. And then, so it took a little bit of work. I mean, it takes a few days, but, once you get everything, kind of working, you're busy. I mean, the days go by super quick when you're busy, that's for sure. Then, met with them, got them all signed up. The hardest thing for me that I have to try to get is the 3 years written loss, because it's kind of out of your control. It feels like you gotta kind of wait on the client to get that. But once I got that, it's like everything just moved forward from there. And then just kind of sign up, and then, end of the day, I'll be a beer after we're done, and that's a big part of it itself. So yeah, it was good.
I love it. The main thing about the story is that he followed direction from the kickoff. Like, take a picture of a van driving down the road, and he did it, and he hit a good one on the first try, right? Some of you may have done that, been like, oh, that didn't work. Keep doing it, right? Corey, you had your hand up real quick.
I was just gonna ask, what resource did you use to get that information? You said that you plugged them in first to see how many drivers and vehicles that he had.
Yeah, hold on, my phone's still on. Okay, off me. I went to.
Riley, was that what you were talking about, the CCB?
Contract
Yeah.
board.
Yeah, the CCB.
Hi, Erin, it's
Yeah, just
Alicia
wanted to
over at
know
Jimmy
that
Smith's
it's,
office.
how long it's been with a certain insurance company, you address of the owner and the phone number, so it's nice to talk to them directly.
I didn't think I used CCB like that, thank you.
And that's in the state of Oregon. So those of you who are not in Oregon, you might have one state specific to you. I don't know, Jake or Kimbra in Arizona or Missouri, if you have one of those, where it gives you all the, I know Washington has Department of Labor and Industries, like it lists out, Rather, maybe you can talk to that. What exactly information does that list out for you?
Yeah, it's like owner's phone number, when their policy readings, the address, usually their home address, all that kind of stuff. Pretty much everything you need to get started, ask the right questions.
So,
That's good the gatekeeper a lot of times. I was using the wrong CCB website. It was a different search thing that have like owner's phone numbers, all that. But if I can text you, I'll link the right one for people.
Miles.
Yeah, I have a question about expiration. Like, I know Skylar did his, but Riley, when you're looking at that, you see that they're 9 months away from renewal. Are we really aggressively pursuing people that have renewals that are 6 months out? Are they gonna get their premiums refunded if they do switch? Those are really rudimentary questions, but that's kind of what I wanted to understand. If I should be only reaching out to people that are a few months away, or it doesn't matter, let's just attack everybody and start setting that pipeline for 6 months from now.
Yeah. I would say don't hesitate. Build a relationship. That's what this is all about. Is building those relationships. They know your name. Even if they're 9 months out, they don't want to make a move midstream. Then you're like, all right, well, I'll be back. You know, hey, and if you think it's a good one, just what can you do little, pop buys, things to build that relationship with them. So then when you do get closer to it, and you get to a requote date, then he's gonna give you what you need, right?
And Christine, so one thing you guys will run across if you're new to rent commercial is the MEP or the minimum earned premium that sometimes commercial accounts will have on existing commercial accounts,
So
right?
I don't have
So that's-
access to that.
Through the deck pages, if you are quoting people out, right, is that they could
And
have.
they are under,
Switch, right? But, you know, some of the carriers that I used to run across, it was very minimal, usually within the first 3 to 6 months, those were assessed, right? Well, I agree with Christine, I don't think that there should be a set date range to not stray away from, but it's really just getting in front of these people, right? And building that relationship from the day one, and if there is that issue, let's say they have a 12 month event that they could be surcharged, right? Point that out to them. Right, hey, look, I'm gonna try to quote you. I'm gonna try to build a relationship with you. I'm gonna be reaching out, 30 days before your renewal. And we'll be talking. So just setting the basis of knowing that just makes you the education to what maybe they don't that they even have, right?
I had a quick question for Skylar. So Skylar, you took the picture of the electrician's truck driving down the road, you called them, and you got the quote in the first try calling them, is that right, on that phone call?
Yeah.
Can you tell me just real quick, especially for the new reps on the phone, what was your verbiage on that? What did you actually say when you made the phone call?
Oh, I'm sure it was horrible, but I just kind of stumbled through it. Yeah, I think I just called AP. This is Skylar. It was a local electrician. I said, I'm a local kid just starting a business with Country Financial, just like you were a first-time business owner at one point. Just love to give you a quote on commercial, see if I can save you a little bit of money, give you a little bit better coverage what you currently have, and just kind of went from there. Just kind of asked about the first. I just kind of, found common ground, trying to build some and kind of got some pitch.
Great, perfect. Yeah.
no, that's, that was
Exact
whole
question.
of it.
Nice.
Yeah,
I
it's,
do want to bring attention to, it just pulls you a couple of my reps in Southern Arizona. I have Jenna Barron on the call. She's not in Crushing Commercial. She's a very established agent who does a ton of commercial. Jenna, thank you for taking some time, because I know you're buried right now. Thanks for taking time to be on the call to share with us. But I just wanted to, she's just a great one to hear from. Jenna's a fabulous commercial producer, has worked very hard in this area of her business, and has it built very well now. She paid for 18. I didn't look on Friday or today, so it might have been more, but as a Thursday evening, she paid 18 commercial policies in the month of January. One of those was $100,000 commercial policy that she worked on for quite some time. But Jenna, everybody on the call would love to hear, your advice and tips in the commercial space.
Awesome. I am grateful to be here. I'm Jenna. I'm actually from a rural town in Arizona, so I'm not even in a big city. And been an agent now for 13 years. But commercial was the first thing that I actually stepped in when I became an agent. I just loved the thought of getting out of trying to just beat the price. We all deal with that on the home side. And so I got in the commercial because it ended up being more of a conversation. And business owners love their businesses, as you guys have learned and start talking to people. My favorite question is tell me about what you got into it. Tell me about your business. And they don't stop talking. So they're in it just like we are. So it's a great conversation to lead. But Kimber just kind of wanted me to hit a little bit about what this last month was. And I actually have two of those stories that
You know, the clients that you talk to for 5, 7 years and you finally write them. And clients that you have one conversation with and you write them. Because I believe in education. When I go, just like you guys talk about walking into businesses and making the cold calls, how I start is, hey, I would love the opportunity to be your professional to review your insurance policy. Doesn't mean I'm gonna write it, doesn't mean that I'm gonna solve all your problems, but I'd love the opportunity just to review it. And so many people give me like, oh, okay, because they don't feel like I'm pressuring the sell, that I'm really just there to review it. I always use the analogy of, I might be able to watch a YouTube video to fix the plunger thing in my toilet. Okay, I don't know if that's the right word, but if my toilet starts to leak and I have water flowing over, I know I have to call a professional. And that's why we call people that are licensed and professionals. So I want to be known as the insurance professional, not the salesperson, just your professional. If you have a question or having something, I'm there. So I spend a lot of time reviewing people's policies. That's what I ask them to send me. And I can't tell you how many times it's, oh, did you realize you don't have this coverage? Or do you realize you're paying for this coverage? Tell me a little bit about it and why you think you need it. And the first thing they say is, I have no idea. My insurance policy person told me to do it. So it opens up so many conversations. And just like a few of you said that, even like Stacy, is it allows you to just say, hey, give me the time to review what you have. I'm not going to shove a price right back down your throat if I don't know what it is. So it opens up a great feed. You'll get the people that you find out their policies are completely written wrong. And the big $90,000 policy that I just wrote this month was a client that literally was insured incorrectly. I told them to go back to their agent and say, hey, correct a few of these things. And, they rose their insurance prices. We still weren't as competitive, but we had a conversation every year. I checked in with them, how are you doing? And this was the 1 year. It was again a coverage that they thought that they had, that they didn't. And I was able to write it, and it was awesome. And something that took a long time, I was able to get. The other one was literally somebody came in here and said, hey, Jenna, I heard if I have a commercial problem, you're the person to talk to. Again, I set myself in education only, and I'm not an expert. And they came in, we sat down, reviewed, and they were not insured correctly because they had a claim where co-insurance came in. And so it's quite frustrating for them. And so we just talked. And we were able to quote their insurance, and we were more expensive. And they said this, they said, Jenna, I want to go to a place where my home, my auto, and my commercial is in one spot, because I'm tired of talking to tons of people. I don't have time for it. You're a money saver when it comes to time, and that you're going to give me a policy that's protecting the thing I love. And I used that in my conversation. I says, you guys work your tail off. Why risk the one thing you love doing by not being insured correctly? And I truly believe in it. So that's probably why it works. But then that was a plumber business. Again, target market. I think Skylar said that. A couple of you guys are going after target markets, Riley. That's awesome. Start there. I also recommend start with the people that you look as professionals. And, hey, I think you're a professional in my world. I want to be your professional. And the referrals come, and then it takes having the team. I have 5 amazing staff members. So
I love it. Thanks, Jenna. I just love her story. One thing Jenna likes a lot about her is, first and foremost, she works for Bob. Like, I know Jenna is at the office many evenings past 5 o'clock. She's not an 8 to 5. She's all hours. Even 13 years in the business, she puts all of her heart and soul into this business, and it shows. But she's excellent at follow-up. She's got a great team she's built. But even for those of you who are brand new, she started brand new as well. She didn't have a team when she started. But she became very educated and experienced in the commercial lines and is doing awesome things. So thanks for sharing, Jenna. I really appreciate it. Thank you. And then I also wanted to bring some attention to Mackenzie King is one of my reps. She just started in November, and Joe Capriolio, I think they're both on the call. But if you two could share, they did joint work, so just remember, you guys can do joint commercial work. You can split it 50-50. Just in case you have one, and maybe you're a newer agent, want to go with a tenured agent. These two actually went in brand new. They're both brand new reps. They went in together working on a commercial account. It was a tough one. They worked for well over a month, and Leslie Stockweather and the underwriting team, who are so phenomenal, worked very hard with them to get this through, and it actually ended up going active at the last day of the month. So they got it for January. But Mackenzie or Joe, you guys could share on that one.
I don't know if Joe's on the call, but I can share a little bit. Yes, Joe and I are both new, and it was a little difficult because we had half of it in the old system and half in the new system. And then 2 new reps, and then the lady with the company that we're working with, she didn't know anything about insurance, so she was sending us emails all day. Joe and I knew the underwriters that we were working with, they were amazing, but I think everybody really confused too, because we had the new auto system, but then we were working in the old CPP system, and we were trying to get everything to connect. So yeah, it was well over a month of work. I think we started it like the last week of December, but it went active January 30th. So I'll set count for January.
Yeah.
It was a big commercial policy, but yes, it really did take a team between all the underwriters, Leslie, Joe, the employees at the company. Everybody was working hard to try to get everything sorted out and active in time, and it worked out.
Perfect. Yeah. So hard work pays off on these. Not everything goes straight through, but this is a nice one, about 42,000 in premium total, and I'm super proud of these two for getting through. So great job, and thank you, Leslie, for. I know Leslie talked about another call with this. I appreciate all your help on that one. But Jake, I also wanted to turn it over to you on some great things that have happened in Kansas City.
Awesome. Well, first and foremost, congrats to both your guys' districts. It sounds like you guys are just cruising, which is awesome. I wanted to talk just some raw data, which I think is important to make sure that maybe we wrap our heads around, and it's the closing ratios on commercial versus maybe home and auto, right? I know that we have so many challenges around, some clients we work with on the auto side, on the home side, winning the business. And if you guys are tracking your closing ratios, a great reps up into the 15 to 20% close ratios, depending on what they quote. But as my crushing commercial group, we quoted in January 19 commercial policies and closed 9 of them. So we're almost right at that 50%, which is awesome, right? Double than what you could do on that. And then actually as a team, as a district, we quoted a total of 43 and closed 24. Which is almost identical as well, right? So the raw data speaks for itself, which is really important to know. That's why we want to help push you guys into this market, because we know we can close, we know we can help these people. So I'm going to pick on a couple people here. So Tim, I want to talk to you. I know I see you on your phone there, checking your emails, I'm sure, but you had a total of 6 commercial quotes, averaged about 6,500 for the month, and you closed 2 of them. So can you maybe talk about a couple of them that you closed, or one big one? I know the larger one you were working on, but share some stuff for the group.
Well, there's the first one is I get a building. I've got a good friend who's a lawyer that just purchased a building. I've got a lot of his stuff anyway, so he's like, Coach, write me a building. I'm like, okay. So got that, and now the second one is a church that I drive by every time I come to work. Finally, one day I go, let's stop in there. So I stopped in and talked to the guy and just hit it off, got all the information, got the pictures, and a couple weeks later, got it all quoted up, sealed, delivered. Been a challenge just because of the new system, with my sophomore-ness, had to rewrite it 3 times, but I think it's going to be a lot better to get all that stuff. Another way that I've been getting people is I like coffee, so I go to Quick Trip in the morning, and there's probably 10 to 12 businesses there: construction, excavators, heating and cooling, electrician, contractors, all types. And just start up a conversation. And, hand out a card, get a card from them and, you know, get that first impression out of the way. Rest is just following up.
I love it. Quick trip. Who'd have thought?
Buy them a cup of coffee, smart man to, you know. And then, you know, Pam, I don't wanna pick on you here, but you know, the Perch Agency as a total, you guys quoted 6 as well, you guys closed 3 of those, right? Is there any of those that were you that you could maybe speak on? I know, Steve's not on the call, but anything you could give for the group, Pam, that would help?
Well, I did, a cafe quote and completed that one. I do have some other quotes going out there. I did a bookstore, working on a bookstore. And that was actually my first, cold walk-in, I guess you could say, that I started. Got a quote for that. Just working on another appointment with them. And then, I'm working on a traveling DJ right now. So, yeah, so that's not good news for me. So, and it is a challenge when you do the old system and slash system or new system slash old system. So that the underwriters are getting back pretty quick. So that makes it really great. They're really nice.
Well, I know we wanna put them on camera, but I did have a question for Jenna. Jenna, I still see you on the call and I wanna take advantage of you being in this group, right? And your wealth of knowledge, but you mentioned some keywords that you said you believe in them, right? So how long, you know, some of these reps might be newer in the commercial space. How long did it take you till you became like you could believe in what you were doing and what you were selling? It was new to you, right? So maybe some advice for the group would be great.
I think the first thing is to start realizing everybody's in the exact same boat as you, not just in the insurance world, in the entire organization of self-business owners. Like, if I'm self-employed and I'm choosing to be an insurance agent, I'm choosing to run my business and how important it is. From the very beginning, life insurance is probably where most of my drive was at. Funny backstory, I ended up working at a funeral home for 2 years because I needed to supplement my income. I was doing independent agency at that time. And so I sold their pre-plan insurance. So I saw what life insurance was for. Okay, so not only when I was selling life insurance, I understood why. And there's a lot of those why stories that come into effect. But when I look at commercial, it was an immediate thing. It was, I know I didn't know everything. I still don't know everything. I still rely on my underwriters. I love talking to other agents, throwing ideas off. I think the second we say that we know everything, we're not growing. So it's okay to tell the people that we work with of, hey, I'm your professional. I might not know the answers, but I've got a team of people behind me that I can always rely on. So don't feel the pressure of having to know it, but believe in why you find it. If you go into selling the policy as I'm trying to get the best most affordable price, it's always going to be tough. But if I go into the beautician salon and it's a $400 policy and I say, hey, this policy is going to protect you in these ways. It's going to make sure that you have the liability if, you know, you injure somebody or somebody comes in and trips, you know, it has those things. So that's how I educate was I look at the quote and I say, what am I covering? How am I going to help this business? Because that's more important to me. And so when I go to introduce it, I believe in, I know that you're going to pay $400 a year and this is what it's going to do. So if this happens tomorrow, you're good. And that's why I believe in it, is if you truly look at what we're protecting, then you don't have to know all this stuff. I literally had one of this big commercial one I wrote where she says, hey, Jenna, it was a family grocery store. She says, what if one of my new employees dumps in the wrong liquid into the pipes that cool my fridges? I'm like, I have no idea. Gotta find out. I own what I know and what I don't know, and know that I have somebody behind me that I answer the question. So commercial, believe in what it does. You don't have to know everything, but know and stand behind what it does and treat it as if it was your business. That the person you're talking to is the same person that you are. And this is a different conversation. And the only other thing I can mention on that, the cross sells that come from writing commercials after that point when they trust you as a business owner.
so much more that comes from, I don't do
Let me put
any
you on a quick hold and see if I
marketing for
can-
auto and home. It's just not where we spend a lot of our time and money. But my commercial clients and their staff know who I am. And I walk in like, hey, Jenna, you're that insurance person. Can you help me with my auto and home? And yes, I can. So, but I guess
Right,
I'm leaving it in.
I have Lindsay
like
Decker
you're
on the
protecting
back
your
line from
business
Senior
the same
Haven,
way that
and
you
she was
treat
just
them,
handed a new computer
And
and told
the
us.
conversation changes drastically.
Man, I love that. Awesome. Kimbra, your show.
I thought I
Great
did,
stuff.
but I don't
Um,
know if it was her. I know she just called. but-
Christine, I know Christine was gonna do a review. I know all of you read chapter 3 and 4 in fanatical prospecting, which I think those are great chapters. A lot of it's just simple stuff, just making yourself do it. Christine, go for it.
Yeah, and you know, it's back to the basics, right, you guys? I think chapters 3 and 4 were a total of like 8 pages. Like,
Okay.
not that hard. You may have, you know, after our last meeting, just read them, and yeah, it's simple stuff to cold call or not to cold call, right? And they really, the theme of that one was make yourself an interrupter. It is, as a salesperson, you are in sales, right? So you are meant to interrupt people on things that are important, kind of going off what Jenna was saying, the belief in the product and the service that you're providing, the importance of it. You don't feel like an interrupter at that point, even though they might perceive you that way. So what comments, I'm gonna throw it out there to you guys. I just did a little synopsis. I have a bunch of highlights here in my book on to cold call or not to cold call. What was it? Someone want to share a takeaway from that chapter for them? Anyone?
I'll volunteer some comments. It was actually on, more so on chapter 4 when they, it really kind of struck the board when they talked about diversifying, you know, your, how you're prospecting and, you know, where the eggs in one basket, you know, as a financial rep, I mean, I read that and thought it really struck the board. Of course, when somebody, you know, if shaking somebody by the collar, if they were to tell you that they're gonna move all their investments to one stock, you know, and then, you know, same goes when you're prospecting, that we need to, you know, if I'm just living on referrals right now, then I'm actually struggling, so I need to make sure, and I mean, it's basically one of the reasons why I wanted to join this group was to learn what other people are doing, whether it's cold calling, you know, stopping in and, like what Tim just brought up about, you know, quick trip. You know, I never thought about that, but as an old retail guy, we used to talk about, you know, contractors. I used to be a store manager with Home Depot, and one of the things we talked about was, you know, gaining the business of contractors and going out to the parking lot and looking to see who's shopping. And it just something, you know, when Tim brought that up, is I should use that in my own. And what I do now, if I'm looking for contractors, go to Lowe's, go to Home Depot, see them shop, and most of the people have their trucks with their name and their number right on there. So something that I probably be doing very shortly is going out, grabbing some of those people, or go into the store. You know, they're shopping in there too. So it just that part really struck a chord with me, was to diversify how I prospect.
Okay. Cold call or not to cold call, and then the diversification. I know some of us in the Western region, I think Q4 of last year did a whole effort on rep texting. So, and wrote lots of premium between all of us in the Western region. So it's one of those things where you got to think of all the approaches. You know, you can take a picture of a van, cold call, you can rep text current commercial clients and have them in for a review, ask for referrals. It just goes back to all those marketing strategies, right? And I think that's the effect of the book too, is it's just go back to the basics, right? This doesn't have to be a fancy approach. You don't have to be perfect. It's creating that relationship, just like Tim mentioned. Hey, I exchanged cards with a guy at a gas station. Like it's what Jenna mentioned, and it's about you're a professional and I'm a professional. Look, we all started at the same place at one point. All right. So it's creating that connection and being genuine, just what Skylar did too, and his approach with hey, I'm just a kid from Medford, you know, trying to start up a new business. I mean, there's a perfect connection. People are like, yeah, you're a real person. You're not trying to sell me, you know, and subconsciously, I think that's their main thing. But I'll recap, real quick, number 3. And really, he does a good job at the end of every chapter, just kind of recapping what it is. And hey, here's your takeaway, right? Instead of the question, interrupting your prospect's day is a fundamental building block of robust sales pipelines. No matter your prospecting approach, if you don't interrupt relentlessly, your pipeline will be anemic. All right, this is about building your pipeline. And you're doing it because it's important. It's not just doing it to do it. It's important for the other person on the other end of the call, the phone, the door, whatever that looks like. They need you. They need your professionalism. They need your guidance. All right. So cold call. That is the point. And then of course, in chapter 4, striking a balanced approach with prospecting is the most effective means of filling your sales pipeline. No matter your industry, product, or service, with few exceptions, the combination of multiple techniques and channels is the most effective path for building a winning pipeline. So don't forget fanatical prospecting over and over. It's just simple stuff. But we'll do chapters 5 and 6.
Jenny, you have something to share?
I haven't got to read this book. I'm actually kind of excited. I'm gonna go read it now. So I gotta hear about it. But I wanted just to real quick, I think what they pointed out, you guys, about diversification is huge in the commercial market. So if you are gonna get in this world, you need to really realize you have to have a wide range of risk, because it does happen. Either if it's a country thing or an industry thing, they change what we might be eligible writing. So if you have just one focus of one thing and something changes in that, you've put yourself in the fire, and it could really, really hurt. So I highly, highly recommend that in writing and quoting. Make sure you're, targeting several different markets. It does actually make it easier. It helps with the knowledge. And then you can have that place where you feel like you know where you're coming from, but protecting from what our industry does have. We have risk. And if something's wrong, we all know about market 2 and the apartments and things like that. You need to be prepared for the mix. So I love that that's in that book, and I highly recommend it.
Good stuff. Thanks, Jenna. Anything else, Christine? Or no, we move over to
We're
So-
good.
Yeah, we've actually had great engagement, great success stories. So thank you all for sharing. Jake, you're okay if I go ahead and move over?
Let's do it.
With the teams at the end of the call. But I want to tell you, there's 2 great people on the call, and I appreciate them coming on. Leslie Stockweather, who is, she's our insurance operations supervisor for commercial underwriting. She's wonderful. And Flora Duran, am I saying your last name right, Flora? Flora Duran, and she's a commercial underwriter. I don't know if it's Duran or Duran, so I apologize. But you're both on the call. I appreciate it. But I wanted you guys just to kind of give some information about what's going on in commercial underwriting, how you can help us, how we can help you, and I'll let you take over.
Perfect. Thank you so much. I think Flora might have actually dropped from the call. She was on here, so hopefully she's able to, oh, there you are. Sorry, you were on page 2. I was thinking maybe you weren't there anymore. Leslie Stockweather, nice to see all of you guys on here. Cannot tell you how appreciative and thankful I am for all of your commitment to commercial and continuing to write commercial. I know I've seen some familiar faces and some new faces on the call. I wanted to just call out that I'm the commercial underwriting supervisor technically for markets 1 and 2. And Justin Waite is actually the commercial underwriting supervisor for market 6, but him and I work very closely together. We tend to back each other up, help with each other's accounts. We kind of share employees back and forth. So, you might hear from Justin, you might hear from me, but we're all here for the same cause. And that's to make sure that you guys are supported in everything that you need, and that we're able to grow profitably our commercial book of business. I do have some slides, but I'm probably going to steer from them a little bit just because I wanted to hit on some things that I heard earlier in the call, but I'm going to go ahead and share my screen and then play a couple slides. But like I said, I'm probably going to deviate from this just a little bit, but wanted to give you just a background real quick on myself. I'm going to say hello as well. I've been with Country Grange since 2014, so I spent a little bit of time in the PC brokerage space. I have a little bit of background there, but it was years ago. Most of my time with Country has been spent on the BOP and CP side. I was actually a commercial underwriting supervisor as of 2022.
And
or
we're
that
both.
Commercial underwriter. So I know I've worked with a lot of you in the past. Like I said, I focus mostly on markets 1 and 2. A lot of different things going on right now in the commercial space from, our new system platform, moving from the old legacy system onto the new PAS system. And we've done some shifting and changing of leadership and things like that. But just know that no matter who you reach out to, no matter which underwriter you get, no matter which supervisor they have,
I
like
do
said,
not.
we're all here for the same cause. We're all
Yeah,
here for
I
the same
don't, I
purpose,
just
can help
do
you out equally.
phones and scheduling.
So I'm gonna pass it over to Flora to just give a quick
You said
hello to the
BitLocker
group.
recovery key?
Yes, hey everyone, so if anybody needs to know, the last name is pronounced Duran, like Duran Duran. Just, what I married into, could choose it. So I've been with Country since 2018 and, spent a few years actually in the life health division. I was an underwriter and then I did some processing work and then had an opportunity to come to
Let me
commercial
put
back
you on
in
hold and see if I can get one of the
2022.
dials for you. I'll be
And
right
I've been here since, and so, been doing BOP work, some CPP work. And similar to what Leslie said, I know I've met a few of you doing some of those commercial policies, so it's great to kind of put a face to the name. And looking forward to working with the rest of you that maybe I don't know so well, so thank you for having us today.
Thanks, Laura. So like I said, I've got a couple of slides that have some links on them. I don't want to take up too much of you guys' time. And I am gonna send this out afterwards to Jay, Christy, and Kimber. I'll send this to you guys so that you can send it out to the participants and they can, look through these links, save some of these links and things like that. But Flora's actually crafted for our team, kind of a write back email that we tend to send out. So some of you may have already received this if you called into the home office and you've been asking some commercial questions. A lot of times we take our template that we have and some of these links are included in there, but it's a little bit more lengthy. It's got some additional things in it. But what we're doing is sending it out and just letting you know here. I know that you guys are just bombarded with emails and links and hubs and SharePoints and all the different things. And the last thing you want to do is call for an answer and someone says, well, did you check here? Did you check here? Did you check here? We know it's frustrating. So what we're trying to do is give you one quick email that you can reference back to. You can bookmark, favorite some of these links. And it's just some of the most important things that we feel like to make you guys hopefully successful in the commercial space. Our eligibility list, it's been around for a long time. We do revamp it. Similar to what we talked about with diversification, some things that Jenna mentioned, there are times where a risk maybe isn't something that's within our risk appetite any longer, or it's something that we've backed away from. We try to keep the business eligibility list as updated as possible. So there's a link on there for that. The commercial hub, I'm sure you guys are familiar with. There's a lot of information on there as well. But I think the most important piece here is there's actually that warranty ticket. So if you've been working on a BOP policy in the new PAS system in Guidewire and you've run into some issues, there's a ticket on this link here, and it's called a warranty ticket or an incident ticket. So if someone's telling you, did you submit the warranty ticket or the incident ticket? There's a link for it on here. And I just wanted to call out something that I think is incredibly important to know is that, we're all frustrated with technology from time to time in the IT center. And, we get it too, me and my team, when we have system issues and we call IT and they say it'll be a 72-hour turnaround, it's frustrating. These tickets don't go to the normal IT spot. So our warranty tickets for the PAS system, they don't go to the regular, IT tier 1, IT tier 2. They actually go to the experts. We've got a special team of PAS developers, PAS people, the Guidewire people. They're the ones handling these specific tickets. So don't fear or don't be hesitant or, unsure about submitting a ticket. I don't know when I'm going to hear anything back. It's the experts that are getting those tickets on the new system. So again, appreciate you guys' willingness to work through the new system as the different things get fixed. I know we're having, fixes about daily or weekly things are coming through that they're finding and they're fixing. So again, just appreciative of you guys' patience through all the different trials and tribulations of moving from one system to another. There's a couple other links on here. I think the bottom one is really important, making sure that your driver's listings are up to date. And I think it's mostly important if you're, doing renewal reviews or if you're inheriting policies. So I know Joe and Mackenzie, you've inherited some policies. Definitely good to check on these dashboards for your drivers because a couple of years ago, commercial did implement the undisclosed driver endorsement. So if your driver is not listed on the driver's schedule, there's potential that physical damage wouldn't be covered in the event of a loss. And Those are my least favorite days when I have to have those conversations. So definitely check out this listing for your drivers when you're doing auto renewals, commercial auto renewals, and making sure that all of your owners are listed, all of their employees are listed, and that we've got all the information that we need to make sure that that's the last thing that's gonna happen is that a commercial auto claim is denied or physical damage isn't gonna be covered. A couple other links that I have, like I said, I'm gonna send this out to everybody afterwards, but there's an FAQ link here for the new PAS system. The level up site, I'm sure you're all familiar with, and then the commercial hub 2.0 landing page. It's just got some core client and eligibility, different things on there. The last slide that I have on here is, I think, probably my favorite, and it's, you know, where should I be focusing, where should I be prospecting, all things that you guys have been talking about through this entire call. And so it's probably definitely a repeat of the things that have already been said, but I was actually a commercial field underwriter at one point, and I'm lucky enough to share my home with someone who runs a plumbing outfit, my husband. So when you say that you find him at the quick stop or the quick trip around 7 o'clock in the morning, you're not wrong. Think of his employees, his vans. I drive by a gas station on my way to work and I almost always see one of his vans. The other places that I can always guarantee to find him or one of his employees would be the Union Hall. I would say find out when your local Union Hall has a meeting, drive past there, and you're gonna see a parking lot full of contractor vans. They're all electrical, plumbing, drywall contractors, remodeling contractors. You know, they have their monthly meetings. So I would, in the past, I've advised reps, you know, find out where the Union Hall is, drive past, they're having a meeting, see what kind of vans are out there, as well as, you know, the looking for them when you're driving, those types of things. The other place was the supply house. I can tell you, in and out all day long, probably no less than 3 or 4 times every day is where my husband's stopping to get all of his supplies and things that he needs. And then also again, at the end of the day, you'll see a parking lot full of contractor vans when they're done with their day, and they're probably sitting around having a beer talking about their horrible day or something along those lines. So I listed out over on the side there, you know, where we're hitting, where we should be focusing, those types of things, and contractors is a big one. As well as food trucks and restaurants. We're doing really well with those. We tend to have a lot of success with our restaurants and food trucks. Clothing boutiques is another good one that I see a lot of, especially the ones that are, you know, pop up in a little downtown space. Most of them are, you know, their pride in their ownership and their curb appeal and those types of things. You can tell when it's, you know, a business that somebody cares about and has invested themselves in. Professional offices listed on there as well. You know, the attorney offices, dental, medical offices, accountants offices, and then those people also, we do see a lot of cross-selling with a lot of lesser risk property or investment property that they might have. And then I've got auto repair shops and wineries and breweries listed on there. So like I said, I hope that you guys got a little bit of something out of Flora and I visiting today. We are so appreciative of your partnership and your continued investment in the commercial space. Open to any and all questions. You know, Flora as well. I hope that you guys will take our contact information and let us know if there's ever anything that we can help you out with.
Excellent. I mean, I love all the information. I like the more condensed list of where we should be prospecting. That was good. Even just a little more condensed over that core client center that I had sent out a couple weeks ago. So thanks for doing that. I appreciate you guys. If you have any questions or something in the chat. Anyone have any questions?
What's the next Comcast expectation? That you guys.
For the Crushing Commercial Group, we'll put something out. Christine and Jake and I are gonna talk today after this call, and we'll put out the new expectations. Do you guys like getting those challenges? I know many we get great feedback from on those challenges, but you can give us your feedback if there's something different, something you're thinking of, Tim. Oh, you're on mute.
Just wanna win.
Okay.
Yeah, he just wants another package coming as well.
That's right, that's right. For all of you missed on the first part of the call, Tim won the first challenge, so he's got some goodies in the mail for him. So yeah, it's fun to win. But no, we'll put up another challenge for sure. Absolutely. And I'm gonna turn, thanks again. Go ahead.
Where are all of you guys kind of located? Because I just, you know, don't know, say, I heard Arizona, like what parts, or is it Missouri or Kansas? What parts? I used to live in Kansas, so I'm just curious where you guys are all located.
Oh, gotcha. Yeah, for Southern Arizona agency, we have reps all throughout Tucson, Stafford, all of southern Arizona up through Mesa, Arizona. And then Jake, what about you?
Yeah, support Kansas and Missouri, so both states. Kansas City is smack dab in the middle.
I used to work at Benedictine College up in Eagle Atkinson. So you guys need, I mean, I can reach out to contacts, drop names, stuff like that for you guys.
I love that, that's great, thank you.
Awesome. Thanks, Stacy. Again, Leslie and Laura, thanks for being on the call. I really appreciate you guys and all the work you're doing with our reps. We know it's been, you know, with the new system, but you guys have been awesome, and thanks for everybody staying positive on the call about it. I really appreciate it. But Jake, I know you wanted to talk about the team effort as well. You broke us down into smaller teams, and I put some great feedback on that.
Yeah, first I wanted to, I came across this and I wanted to share because you guys are like, this group's so important to Kimber and Christine and I. And so I came across in our market kickoff where we had a rep that was smacking. It's called Smacked. Was smacking random clients. Has anybody ever heard of Smacked? That's okay because I didn't know either. I thought I was like, oh. So Smacked is spreading messages of affirmation, compassion, and kindness. So what her agency does is they buy these cards with their branded logo and stuff on them, and each card has a different message. They're not trying to sell to these people, but they randomly on Wednesdays, Fridays, they go out, tomorrow will be better. You should be so proud of yourself. You can do hard things. So they put these on people's cars. So they'll walk Lowe's, Home Depot, wherever, staple a card to it and put this on there, and they rotate so much business off of it because they said, she had said that she has people that call her that will be like, hey, I was actually really having a hard day, and I got this message of affirmation from you, and I thought I would just reach out and thank you, and it gives them an opportunity to say this community. And why I mentioned this is this group, I want to share when we find stuff like this, right? Is this something maybe you can use on the commercial end? Maybe you go to a union meeting and you see 75 vans parked there, and you throw some sort of a message or your card on there. I don't know if you could walk into a union meeting. I've never done that before, right? But maybe that's a way to spread a message. Hey, I help local businesses like you. Here's my card if you ever need help. Just another way to affirm that you could be in the community and you could help people. But I found a website that's on there. It's called Smacked, SMACKED.com. But I just thought it was so cool, right? Something so different. And what she was doing was really working well for her agency. So I figured I'd spread that across the markets here. On my groups. So I don't need a ton of information, but are there any team leads that can step up, or anybody even that was a part of the groups? Everybody should be separated into a group now, right? Is there any successes or anything that maybe you guys use the group for versus the larger group call like we have once a month here? Does anybody want to share anything on the groups? Nothing, huh? It's okay. So everybody should have a team lead. Everybody should have a district leader that's associated with that. The three of us really want to be a part of those calls. So if we can make it happen, we will. Just know that those groups are, I gave you guys kind of a time, a bullet point list of things you can talk about, but utilize that time for you guys, right? If you're facing a challenge, maybe you're having a quoting issue that you need help with that you're working on that maybe somebody in your group knows the answer to. The point of those groups is so you guys have another outlet before maybe you jump through calling or emailing underwriting or asking for help. Like, we want to be in it to win it together, right? And really, like Christine had mentioned, kind of cross-pollinate between all three districts. And so that's my challenge to you guys. We would love to hear some feedback maybe next call if we have some time. And just tell us what you guys are talking about, what you're dealing with, what the day-to-days are. But that's all I had if nobody has anything. Kimbra.
Yeah, we'll stand on a new challenge. So thanks for bringing that to our attention, Tim. We'll definitely do that. And Cora had also put in the chat that her associate agent hasn't received any invites to the teams. So we'll be sure and do that. So if anybody else, if your associate agents that you want to be involved in commercial haven't got an invite, please let us know because we would definitely want to include them. So perfect. Thanks, guys. I really appreciate all you guys sharing your success stories. Hope you guys learned something great today. We're here to help you guys. Have a great week.
Go get them.
Thank you all.
Precious.
Thanks, guys.
God.